is Dr. Leonard Coldwell, or better known to you as Dr. C. The Federal Reserve is a private bank owned by private people, offshore bank, and this private bank took over the economy and the world. And I will tell you how this works. First of all, I will tell you we don't have a national debt, not a dime, because we can print our money. We have the legal right to print our own money or coin our own money. That means, let's say there is a debt of $1 trillion, just to put out the number. Then we can just print $1 trillion, pay our debt off, end of story. So that's how simple it is. There is no debt. We have no national debt. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is something you really need to understand. And I want to explain to you why this is true. We have the right to print or coin our own money. Now, there's another group of private bankers. And we tell these bankers, print our money. And then they deliver this money, if they ever even print it and not just put it in a computer, they deliver a bunch of papers. We get a block of papers. And on these block of papers, on every individual note, promissory note, they write a number, like 100 or 20 or whatever it might be. So let's say they print a block of papers and the numbers they write on there accumulates to $1 trillion. Now they give us a block of papers. And because there is $1 trillion in numbers on it, they tell us we owe them, the Federal Reserve, the private bank, $1 trillion. And then they even charge us interest on a piece of paper that they printed, they put a number on it, and pretend it has value. So first of all, we have the right to coin our money, nobody else. The Federal Reserve does not have that right. It's not deferrable. There's a very simple thing in the Constitution about that. So imagine that. What they do is they print this money. It's not even money. It's just paper. They print a number on it. Then they give us the paper they just printed and tell us it's money, which is not. And then they charge interest on it, and this amount is a national debt. Do you understand that? There is no national debt. There is no money. We have never gotten money from the Federal Reserve because it's a promissory note. It's backed by nothing. It's simply paper. Please re-watch this, re-listen to this. It's simply paper. There's just a number on it. I can write on a napkin 1 million and give it to you. Now I make you believe you owe me $1 million plus interest. It's still just a napkin. So if you want to make the people that own these private banks, like the Federal Reserve or the IRS, if you want to make them richer and more powerful, keep on doing what you're doing, keep on voting for the same people, keep on just swallowing the lie that you have to pay taxes. You don't. You just need to research it. You have to file. They made a law that you have to file your tax return. But I couldn't find any law that I have to pay. I might be wrong. Do your own research. But to me, there is no reason to pay taxes. And as Ronald Reagan said, the entire amount of the federal income tax has been paid to foreign banks for the so-called debt, national debt, that we don't have. But since the federal tax does not even stay in the United States, it's not been used to build hospitals or schools or streets. What does it matter to us if they raise the taxes or lower the taxes, because nothing stays in America. Nothing of the federal income tax will be used here. Every dime they use here, they have print the Federal Reserve this money again, which is no money, it's just paper with numbers on it. And then they basically increase the so-called national debt and use that to do whatever they need to do in America. So it's just a hoax. The entire tax system is a hoax. Since Ronald Reagan even stated back then that not a dime of the federal income tax is used in America for the American citizens. Since then, it should be clear to everybody that it doesn't matter what they talk about national debt, we can just print the money, pay it off, end of story. That's number one. But number two, it is much more important that you understand that we don't have debt and that the entire federal income tax goes to the private bankers offshore. So this entire hoax talking about, oh, we need to lower taxes and raise taxes, that's just a big hoax. It doesn't matter. They just raise taxes to give the Bank of England and whoever gets this money from the federal income tax more money. That's the only reason to raise federal taxes. I'm not talking about state taxes, it's a different story. But I'm talking about, or local taxes, or even local sales tax. It's all fine with me. But the federal income tax, you need to do some research on it. And when Ron Paul says we need to audit the Federal Reserve, I wouldn't even go there. I would just close them down. And by the way, do you know that America does not have the gold it's owed to other countries? Germany wanted their gold back. And now they say it will take them 7 years to find it somewhere or get it somewhere. 7 years. They are supposed to store it, not use it. And in the books, yeah, they even cook the books. So what is really, really important to understand is that they say, we rented out, we leased out the gold, which means they sold it to jewelers and so on. They put it into jewelry, it's gone. But for the books, they still own the gold because they leased it out. If you're a country like Germany and you take your physical gold and send it for safety reasons to another bank, let's say here in America, let's say we pretend it's in Fort Knox where there is no gold. There are even gold bars, they look like gold and there's other metal, lead and stuff in it. There is no gold in Fort Knox. There is no gold in Fort Knox. So, but let's say you are a country like Germany and you take this money, this gold, and put it into this bank for safekeeping, and you even pay storage fee for it. And then you open your vault and it's empty, and then you want your gold back and they say it might take us at least 7 years to get your gold. They were just to store it. So that's what they do. That's what they always did. They just take it. I promise you, if you are not in secure metals, precious metals, or other physical things that you physically own to protect your money, your fortune, and your future, you will be poor and broke. Latest 2016, latest. I predict the dollar breakdown will come much faster. I predict by at latest in fall we are at war with Syria, and of course the war with Iran will follow. That's just a given because it's in their books, it's already a done deal. And another thousands and thousands of American soldiers will die or lose their limbs. Nobody talks about the 26,000 people that losing their limbs or coming back each year with post-traumatic stress syndrome, committing suicide, or even homicide and then suicide and all these kind of things. This country is not at the end. This country is at the beginning. The emails I'm getting every single day make me feel good. The media is telling us everything is under control of the US federal government. It's not anymore. It's long over. The New World Order has already lost. They're just pretending they are still winning. It's over. Over 40 million people in America are organized in some kind of a freedom movement or patriot movement or Freedom Party, Tea Party movement and so on. We are already winning. I get emails from people that, wow, I know we are safer than we think and we are more than you believe. So ladies and gentlemen, stand up for your rights, stand up for the Constitution, and remember, the Constitution is the law of the land. It's the only thing that matters. It supersedes everything. Everything is not constitutional, is null and void. We don't need to vote on it, we don't need to obey it, we don't need to care. And we are forming now more and more groups that are going to help us to stand up if one of us gets hit by an unlawful law, rule, or regulation, if a judge makes a really unconstitutional ruling or whatever they're going to do. we are going to stand up united. You will not be alone any longer. So just contact us. Write to Amy at drleonardcoldwell.com, Amy, A-M-Y, at drleonardcoldwell.com if you want to be a part of real freedom and liberty. And we have it. Nobody can give it to us. We are free. We are born sovereign. We are in total control. We have the Bill of Rights. We have the Constitution. That's the only thing that matters to us. Remember, at the top are we the people. We the people, we formed the states and the states' governments. And then the states and the states' government formed the US federal government, which is nothing else than a corporation registered in France in 1933 by President Roosevelt. That's all it is. It's a corporation, headquarters in the 10 square miles of Washington, D.C. So the federal government, they are our employees, basically. They're not at the top of anything. Obama, I thought you went to school and learned about the Constitution and constitutional law. I don't know what you learned. Go back to Kenya and restart learning. So this thing is, to me, you need to understand we have rights. Nobody can and need to give us rights. We have the Second Amendment, we have the First Amendment, we have the entire Bill of Rights. The Constitution is the supreme law of the land. End of story. End of negotiation. End of discussion. The Constitution is the only thing that matters to us. So ladies and gentlemen, remember, we the people, we formed the states and the states' governments. And the states and the state governments then formed the federal government. It's on the lowest totem pole. It's at the end. We control them. And states' rights supersede federal rights all the time. So ladies and gentlemen, learn about it. Don't trust me, don't believe me. Learn about it, educate yourself, do the research, and stand with us for liberty and freedom. That was for you, Dr. Leonard Coldwell, your Dr. C.